Hey there, Dynamite fans. Come join us here at The Experience this Monday, March 13th at 6 p.m. Eastern, our usual time. We're going to have some fresh Dynamite books, all your favorite Marvel and DC titles, and hopefully everyone will be here. And by everyone, I mean Rex and John, because he's the one who's always missing lately. But no matter what, it's going to be a great show. So remember, come join us on The Experience, March 13th, 6 p.m. Eastern. See you then.
Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. This week, just a bunch of comics, but one of the most exciting comic book announcements since the entire time I've been doing the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. We're going to kick it off with that. Monica has been announced. This is the new book, 6 years in the making, from Daniel Clowes. Daniel Clowes is one of my absolute favorite working comic book cartoonists. Works like Ghost World, Like a Velvet Glove. You guys have heard me go on and on and on about 8 Ball. Those were from 8 Ball. That's from Daniel Clowes. Now, we haven't had a book from him since Patience, and that was a while ago. He's been working on this one. In fact, he was recently doing an interview with cartoonist Kayfabe, and they pointed out that it looked like he had some work that he was doing in the background, and here it is. It's published by Fantagraphics in October. It's the story of a woman named Monica, but it's told through a bunch of different interconnecting narratives in typical Daniel Clowes fashion. If you've never read a book from him and you want to know where to start, the easy place to start is Ghost World, and if you've never seen the movie, you might want to check that one out as well. He was nominated for an Academy Award as a screenwriter on that movie. I am such a mark for Daniel Clowes, and I have been waiting with eager anticipation for the announcement of whatever his next project was going to be. I'm happy it's here. I'm happy it's Fantagraphics. I'm happy it's this year, and I am so excited to have new, fresh content from Daniel Clowes. Wonder Woman's being relaunched in July, maybe September. The dates I'm kind of fuzzy on right there. But following the Wonder Woman number 800, they're relaunching with a new number 1 written by Tom King with artwork by Daniel Samperi. I like Daniel's artwork. He recently just did Dark Crisis. I thought the artwork was great on that. So I'm excited what he can bring visually to Wonder Woman. Tom King writing another ongoing main DC title. That's a wait and see for me. Tom King's been kind of up and down for me over these last few years. I really do like a lot of his work that he did before, like Omega Men, even The Vision over at Marvel. I love that series. Love Mr. Miracle. And I recently have loved Human Target, all 12 issues, all the way through. But there's been some misses for me. His Batman run seemed a bit inconsistent. I'm a little on the fence about Tom King, my level of excitement on him doing another ongoing mainstream DC book. But we'll see. Another thing I'm noticing on this cover is that they're going to start doing the legacy numbering over at DC. So even though it's a new number 1, it has the legacy 801 right attached to it. Another one doing the same thing is The Flash. The Flash relaunches in September following Flash 800 with a new creative team, Simon Spurrier and Mike Deodato Jr. Mike Deodato's been doing a lot of work over at AWA. Looks like he's back over at DC. And I think this is a fine thing. I'm excited to see what he's going to do visually with The Flash. But I am very excited to see what Simon Spurrier is going to be doing with The Flash. This is going to be a Wally West-centric book still, relaunching with the new number 1, presumably with the legacy numbering of 801 or whatever. And in Wonder Woman 800 and Flash 800, you're going to get the first teases as to what's coming up in the new series launches. Simon Spurrier's been blowing me away right now in the pages of Damn Them All. His X-Men work, not so much, but I'm just not super into the X-Men. But he's promising weirder Flash stories. Wally West going into weirder places thematically and narratively, and I'm really excited to see what we can do with that. I've liked what Jeremy Adams has been doing, but this is kind of an exciting announcement. Then we got Steelworks launching in June from DC, written by Michael Dorn. Michael Dorn, who, to me, I'm like, Worf is writing, and then I forgot he was also the voice of Steel in the Superman animated series, so I guess that's the connection. Sam Basri on the artwork. Artwork should be fine. Michael Dorn as a comic book writer. Not sure how that's going to go. I think he may have written a Star Trek book or two at some point, but I love the character of Steel. This is the 30th anniversary of that character, which makes me feel very old, but I love John Henry Irons. I love Steel. I'm excited to see a book focused on him being back. I'm a Star Trek nut, so I love Michael Dorn. I'm excited for this. I'm really excited. Plus, in the pages of Phillip Kennedy Johnson's Action Comics recently, he's been setting up Steelworks as this new entity, kind of like against LexCorp, but like, it's awesome. I'm really excited for the direction of the Steelworks and Steel in the pages of Action Comics right now. And I'm excited to see how that gets developed in the Steelworks. Then we got Hawk Girl launching in July, a new Hawk Girl series. This is from Jatsia, Axelrod, and Amanke Nahulpan. Not really familiar with either the writer or the artist, but I love Kendra Saunders. I love that character. When we first saw these announcements and these teases for Dawn of DC, I thought we were getting a new Hawkman book, but in fact, it's a Hawk Girl book. It's a great character. I'm not familiar with these creators, but I'm excited to see what develops there. Then we got Incredible Hulk launching with a new #1 from Marvel in June, written by Phillip Kennedy Johnson with artwork by Nick Klein. Nick Klein just recently coming off of Thor. I love Nick Klein's artwork. He did a Deadpool run. I loved his artwork on that. Then he's been doing Thor. And even though Thor's waned on me as far as my interest level, I have always loved that art. So I really think that he is a very perfect choice to do Incredible Hulk. Now, Phillip Kennedy Johnson, he's a pretty solid writer. I'm loving what he's doing recently in Action Comics. And he did the Alien book, and it was all right, but I kind of fell out of that one a little bit. But he does promise a more horror-influenced take on the Incredible Hulk. And some of my favorite Incredible Hulk stories have been kind of horror-influenced, like Banner by Azzarello and Richard Corbin, or the Bruce Jones run, which I absolutely adore. So I think it's a cool direction. I think it's an interesting team. I'm excited to see what they can do when they work together. Cosmic Detective is a new graphic novel from Image Comics launching in September from Jeff Lemire, Matt Kent, and David Rubin. Now, this has already been launched last year. I have the hardcover of this book because it was a Kickstarter project, right? So I have it, still haven't read it, but Cosmic Detective is about a detective who is investigating the murder of a god, right? Like, what if someone killed, like, one of the new gods? How is solving that mystery about? The artwork looks great. I flipped through it. Brian has read it. Brian absolutely loves it, but he's a big Matt Kent mark. But then again, so am I, and we're all Jeff Lemire marks here. So, Cosmic Detective, you know what? I need to read it soon and let you know how good exactly it is, because that graphic novel comes out in softcover from Image, available to everybody, and that's upcoming this September. Speaking of Kickstarter, I've got a Kickstarter that I'm a part of right now from Dynamite Entertainment. It is a Re-Animator book, Eternal Flame Volume 2, written by Cullen Bunn with artwork by Blackie Shepherd. But what's really cool is that I am featured on one of the variant covers. So click that link in the description below, check out that book, and if you want to get me on a cover, drawn on a cover as one of the Re-Animated Dead, and I'm super pumped for it, check that out in the Kickstarter link in the description down below. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly pop culture wrap-up. That is what we have just done. Thank you so much. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and drop a comment about anything that we talked about or anything that we missed. I've been Rockin Robbie. How many times I'm going to say this? How do I end these videos? Thanks for rocking with us. Station, pop, pop, boom.